Monday, June 19th, 2017, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. So this is an early market update. It's just before 8 a.m. London or 3 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the US. Markets have started trading in Europe. It's still early, but as I've said before, in London from 7 a.m. things start moving. People get into their offices and to their desks, and they start trading. So I want to also look at what is happening this week in terms of economic data and central bank speakers. I think I've just looked quickly through the list, and it seems there's a lot of central bank speakers. And it's not surprising because we had the FOMC meeting last week, Bank of England meeting, and I think these guys just try to keep control of things, try to keep the, their ideas in the markets and try to manipulate people and investors into thinking what's going on. It's quite amazing that we've come to a system where we've got kind of alchemists out there and PR people. It's not really a system based on the market. But anyway, let's have a look at the early action. Gold, $12.52, down $1.50. Narrow range, $12.51 to $12.56. Silver, $16.64, down 3.5 cents. The range has been $16.60 to $16.74. So still disappointing, the price move in precious metals. But of course, longer term, it's the ultimate, there are ultimate currencies. They've been around for thousands of years, silver and gold. In terms of the stock market, they're strong today, this morning. The Dow futures is up 51, or up 0.25% at 21,426. S&P 500 2440, up 7, almost 1/3%. The Nasdaq 100 future is up 27, or 0.5%. The FTSE is doing really well as well. It's up 62, or 0.84% at 75.15. And the currencies are fairly firm against the dollar, not much. Pound 127.78, up 3 pips, insignificant. Euro up 8 pips at 112.04. And the dollar, though, is up against the yen, 111.05, up 18 pips. So that's what probably keeping precious metals down a little bit. Dollar strength against the yen. As a whole, dollar index slightly lower, 97.13. Yeah, looking at the chart, it still looks like we're moving lower. Looks like the top in December, January was it for now. And I think there's a level around 92. Looking here, though, could be 94 as the next target. So dollar's still weak. Interest rates, the 10-year yield is still quite relatively anemic, 2.16. Considering that the short-term rates have raised now, one thing people talk about is that the U.S. Treasury curve has collapsed. What does that mean? That means that the shorter end is catching up with the longer end in terms of yield, and the curve is starting to invert, and that's a sign that there will be an economic slowdown or recession in the economy. And you might ask, so why is the stock market doing so well? Well, I think it's because investors have been conditioned to expect central banks to come out and, if there's any problem, always keep things, rosy by pumping even more money and credit into the market. And even though the Fed's hiking now, last week as well at the Bank of England meeting, there were 3 members of the MPC, Monetary Policy Committee, that voted for a hike, actually, and 5 that voted for no hike. And it was expected to be like 7 for no hike and 1 for a hike. So that was quite surprising. And the pound did rally up on the back of that. But relatively speaking, I think the pound's still fairly weak here at 127.70. I would have expected it maybe to rise above 128, maybe go even to 130. So despite that, the pound's still quite weak. I guess the Bank of England is probably, you know, saying we need to keep pace with the Fed. The other thing as well, the inflation data, the way they measure it here, CPI, RPI, is quite high. It's like 3% almost. And it's been a year since Brexit and the sharp drop in the pound, and all the increases are starting to come through in the shops. Things are getting more expensive. So I think that's why they voted for a hike. I don't really think they're going to hike anytime soon. And that's why I wanted to talk about who's, you know, the data and the speakers this week. In terms of speakers today, for example, we've got New York Fed President Dudley, who's an FOMC member. He's out at 1 p.m. London. So that, you know, the New York Fed president is always a member of the FOMC, so it's an important post. Then we got Chicago Fed President Evans speaking at midnight London time. So that's a bit later. Tomorrow, though, we've got Bank of England Governor Carney speaking at 8:30 a.m. London time. So that's going to be important for the pound and what's going on in the UK. Got FOMC member Rosengren speaking tomorrow as well. Stanley Fischer speaking tomorrow. He's the deputy chairman of the FOMC, so he's Yellen's right-hand man. What else have we got? And I think later on in the week we've got some more Fed speakers, but basically today and tomorrow some very important speakers. And I've said before that I think central banking is a monopoly, a cartel. Unfortunately, though, we have to keep an eye on what these guys say just to see kind of the direction of things, interest rates, currencies. So, yeah, I think that will be more important this week. You know, there are some U.S. data on, let's see, Wednesday. We've got existing home sales out of the U.S. That will be important. The data in the last couple of weeks has been have been very weak. You know, I'm surprised, and I think that's what they're doing here. They're raising rates in the U.S., the Fed, so they can cut when things really slow down. Cryptocurrencies, LITECOIN still doing really well. We're at 46.21, up 6.5%. I read a story yesterday saying that the Chinese and Japanese are getting into LITECOIN. Ethereum 360, 24-hour range 353 to 363. Bitcoin 2,570. So yeah, still off the 3,000 level. Steam, let's have a look. Yeah, I think Steam is trading just above $2.04, up 2%. 24-hour range has been 198 to 205. What else? Well, there's news out of the UK that a van slammed into pedestrians last night near a mosque in London, Finsbury Park. And there were a number of casualties. This has been reported by Sky and Zero Hedge. And the driver was arrested. Finsbury Park Mosque is notorious, kind of notorious because, you know, they had some hate preachers that preached there. Let's see. And am I justifying this attack? No, of course not. But I'm not surprised that this thing is starting to happen. We'll have to wait and see. That's the old divide and conquer. Starting to show its head. So yeah, it says, according to The Guardian, Al-Qaeda operatives, including the shoe bomber Richard Reed and Zacharias Moussaoui, attended the Finsbury Park Mosque. And in 2002, weapons training had taken place inside the building. The mosque rose to notoriety when Abu Hamza al-Masri became Imam of the mosque due to his extremist ideologies and views on terrorism. So this is what the Guardian is saying about the Finsbury Mosque. And apparently they were coming out of midnight prayers. So it happened 20 minutes after midnight. There's a van attack. So divide and conquer. There you go. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Share it far and wide. If you like to watch my videos and be, notified of it, subscribe to my channel as you'll get updates. And also, if you'd like to watch me on steemit.com, I download all my videos there. It's steemit.com. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.